Well, good morning to all of you. It is so good to see you all. A true joy. I want to talk today a little bit about various aspects of the human phenomenon of friendship. Now, by this date, by today, August 8th, I had hoped I could say that the pandemic is over. But unfortunately, as you know, we are experiencing a resurgence. The pandemic has been largely a bad experience, but there have been some positive outcomes. Among them, the awareness of how important friends are in our lives. As a result of being largely cooped up at home and isolated at times, people have reconnected with friends that they may have been out of touch with. I have reconnected with some friends from long ago and far away, and we used modern technology like Zoom to be our medium of connection. This has been a blessing amidst all the sorrows of the pandemic. As I look back over the times I have lived through, I can vividly recall the friends that I had in each segment of my life. As is true of most of us, my friendships have been of varying intensities. One particular group of friends stands out. It was especially important and intimate. We were all undergraduates at Hunter College in New York City during the turbulent mid to late 1960s. There was a handful of friends in our close circle, and we spent a great deal of time together, talking and laughing well into the night. I sometimes wonder how it is that we found each other and what the unique glue was that bound us together during those challenging years. And this is one of the special aspects of friendship. Theologian and sociologist Martin Marty says, the chemistry of friendship, at least at the point of birth, is a mystery. As the saying goes, people do not make friends, they recognize them. We somehow recognized each other as kindred spirits. Partly because of the magic of that special circle of friends, I have come to consider friendship as a spiritual phenomenon. I would not go as far as 19th century transcendentalist Bronson Alcott went, who said that friendship is the only religion possible to moderns. But I would agree with his friend Ralph Waldo Emerson that, as Emerson put it, friendship demands a religious treatment. In pointing to the spiritual character of friendship, C.S. Lewis has said, friendship is unnecessary, like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things that give value to survival. I would have to differ a bit with C.S. Lewis. It does give value to survival. But through various studies and surveys, psychologists have discovered that friendship actually can prolong survival. A study conducted in California involving 7,000 adults between the ages of 30 and 59 revealed a strong correlation between social connectedness and length of life. Good social support by friends and relatives seem to help protect people from such problems as heart and circulatory diseases, or at least put off those experiences. Another study of an elderly group found that people with a close friend were less prone to psychological problems. Still another showed that women who have an intimate and confiding relationship had a significantly lower incidence of depression. The Old Testament sums it up nicely. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. Of course, we don't usually decide to become friends with someone because it is good for our mental and physical health, at least not consciously. We do it because we are social beings, because we are somehow inexplicably drawn to certain people, because we want to love and be loved, because many of us feel a need for at least one person with whom we can share joys and sorrows, as well as our best and worst selves. A good friendship offers so much: companionship for our favorite activities, a confidant, someone to lean on in difficult times, to care for in return, to try out ideas on, to get honest feedback from. One good friend may help see us through the ups and downs of any number of romantic relationships. And it is those romantic relationships that are also friendships that are the richest and the most enduring. The words of a wedding ceremony that I have often used speak of the essence of the marriage commitment as the willingness to take the other person in his or her entirety, as lover, companion, and friend. In some cases of romantic relationships, the friendship part may turn out to be the most durable. Romance can fade, but sometimes, if we're lucky, the lover turns into a lifelong friend instead. The poet Byron said, "Friendship is love without wings," to which I would add, maybe so, but love without wings at least has 2 feet firmly planted on the ground. Friendship is a valuable source of self-understanding. Our friends are good mirrors. It is partly through our friends and the ways in which we relate to them that we form a sense of our own identity. Friendships thrive on mutual esteem, and this can't help but enhance one's own self-esteem. Friendship can be revolutionary. The friendship bond is such that friends may band together in loyalty to one another and against an oppressive institution or individual. The friendly coffee group at work may be a place for blowing off steam, and it may be the seedbed of an organized effort for better working conditions. Friends can inspire and support each other in social activism. The words friend and free both derive from the Sanskrit root pri, which means to love. In Old English, freo meant free, freon meant to love, and freond meant friend, one who loves freely. As the etymology indicates, friendship has the character of freedom. It is a freely chosen bond, and it can't be forced. Perhaps some of you have discovered how impossible it is to engineer friendship. If you've ever, for instance, tried to bring together 2 seemingly compatible people, only to discover that the friendship you share with each of them separately couldn't be transferred into a friendship between them. Friendship is a freely chosen mutual preference between people for each other. 2 of the most seminal thinkers of Western civilization, Plato and Aristotle, held opposing views on friendship and preference. For Plato, friendship may start as a freely chosen preference for a particular person, but true friendship, he said, is infinite and immortal. It expands beyond the attachment to an individual friend to embrace all of humanity and the cosmos itself. This very expansive love, called in Greek agape, is the type of love toward which Christianity and other religions strive. It is a selfless love that requires no return. It is given, you could say, in spite of who we are. Aristotle's ideal of true friendship, on the other hand, is preferential. We love a friend because of who the person is, in preference to other people. For Aristotle, this particularity is the truest friendship. As he put it, to be friends with many people, in the sense of perfect friendship, is impossible. I would say that most of us experience friendship as Aristotle described it, rather than as Plato did. A relatively few people from among the multitudes of people we encounter in our lives actually become our friends. An old Chinese proverb says, "There are plenty of acquaintances in the world, but very few real friends." In fact, one recent study indicated that people have an average of 4 people who they describe as true friends. This is, of course, an average. Many can claim many more. Sadly, many can claim fewer or even none. I tend, though, to be a bit wary when someone throws the term friend around too casually, as advertisers do when they dilute the word to a meaningless platitude. Fly the friendly skies. You have a friend at our savings and loan. Enjoy the friendly cereal, and so on. As an old slogan says, a friend to everybody is a friend to nobody. This preferential aspect of friendship makes it vulnerable to change and possibly to dissolution, since we come to prefer people as friends on the basis of qualities that may change as our friend evolves. We're a long way from Plato's ideal of friendship as immortal love. Also, in Plato's ideal friendship, the love need not be returned, but our experience of friendship involves mutual affection and esteem. It would make little sense to say, "Mary is my friend," if Mary would not agree that she is. Romantic love may be one-sided, but friendship is not. There is a dark side to friendship, a side which springs from among the less noble parts of ourselves. Psychology Today magazine conducted an extensive survey decades ago to determine why some friendships cool off or end. Some of the answers point to this darker side. The most frequent reason given for the ending of a friendship was neither dark nor surprising. Respondents said, "One of us moved." Great distances are certainly hard on friendships, even the closest ones. Although in our modern times, social media have made long-distance friendships more common and more able to be nurtured and cultivated. The second most frequent reason given for friendships ending was, "I felt that my friend betrayed me." The kiss of Judas, apparently, has toppled many a friendship. The ever-present risk in an intimate relationship is that the one whom you have trusted with your deepest secrets can reveal confidences or use them against you. Betrayal like this may be the saddest reason why friends part. If that particular survey is any indication, it happens rather frequently. 2 other answers given often in that survey reveal another dark side to friendship. One of us became markedly more successful at work, and one of us became much richer. The culprit here is that uncomfortable emotion, envy. It can sour even the deepest friendship. As novelist Gore Vidal said in an honest confession, every time a friend succeeds, I die a little. Two more answers chosen frequently in the survey bring to mind Mark Twain's comment. Twain said, "The holy passion of friendship is so sweet and steady and loyal and enduring a nature that it will last a whole lifetime, if not asked to give money or lend money." The respondents in the survey said that friendships ended when a friend asked to borrow money, or when they asked a friend to lend them money. This issue seems to test the limits of many friendships. The results of this survey of modern friendships would no doubt disappoint Plato. Our friendships are hardly universal and immortal. Like ourselves, they are less than perfect. As Martin Marty has said, those who are sentimental about friendship have not interviewed enough people. Friends can and do betray each other. They can overstretch the limits of generosity or feel put upon by one another. They can experience twinges of envy over each other's good fortune or competence. Or friendships can simply fade away because of negligence or because people's lifestyles, worldviews, or personalities evolve away from one another. Some of the individuals in my circle of college friends I am no longer in touch with. We drifted apart, as many young friendships do. We individually changed, moved away, or attached to other people, and the circle was broken. Nevertheless, during the lonely hours of the pandemic, a couple of them got in touch with me out of the blue, seeking connection and the comfort of old ties. Maybe some of you have experienced this phenomenon. I have stayed more in touch with some others from those days, and the chance to have Zoom meetings with these old, far-flung friends has happily renewed some of those old connections. I found these Zoom friends so valuable as we commiserated about the lockdowns and got each other through a tense presidential election and laughed and cried together. I also found, after I was vaccinated and felt less vulnerable, that I wanted more friends I could physically be with safely. So I decided to actively look for some new local people I could connect to. One path I took was to join a forming neighborhood discussion group, all vaccinated, for discussions on a variety of subjects. This is a small group of people of mixed ages, and we so far seem to have bonded as real friends. We can all be proactive about looking for and cultivating friendships. And although there is a kind of magic and mystery as to who will actually form that bond with us, we will never find friendship if we don't place ourselves in the paths of other people. A religious community like yours is often a good place to start. And I understand that you will meet here finally next week, physically again. What a joy that will be. I wish you well as you renew or continue making connections with each other, either physically in your sacred space or virtually, as you have been doing. So many of our congregations are trying now to create a hybrid service that includes both the virtual connection and the physical one. Although the friendships that we engage in may not be perfect, I believe that there is, after all, a little of Plato's agape in the best of them. There is a kind of love between good friends that can transcend the particular relationship to embrace a wider reality. Perhaps you have felt this transcendent quality behind the mutual love of a friendship. Through the special regard you hold for the friend, an inner door is opened, and you feel deepened and expanded. In the genuine meeting between two or more human beings, there is a kind of third self, if you will, a third aliveness, a sense of something larger than the individual persons involved. We had an inkling of this transcendent quality within our college group of friends. We even spoke tentatively about this feeling, though we had no terms for it. At the time, I didn't know that one theologian, Martin Buber, had built his theology upon the foundation stone of the human meeting. Buber spoke of this as the I-thou relationship, the I-thou encounter, which takes place in a relationship of openness, directness, mutuality, and presence. These are the qualities of a good friendship. In the I-thou meeting, we catch a glimpse of the eternal, or as Buber might put it, God dwells within the human meeting. Through the spiritual communion of friendship, we come to know ourselves and to feel a part of all that is. Emerson said, "The laws of friendship are eternal, of one web with the laws of nature and of morals." When we love another deeply, we are keenly aware that to hurt someone is to tug at that fragile web which binds us to all people and to the universe itself. And we are reminded that we should hold our friendships, and indeed all people, with tenderness and with care. Those of us who have had the good fortune of enjoying intimate relationships, intimate friendships, know that the risk of losing the friend is far outweighed by the joy of sharing in that unique kind of relationship for as long as it lasts. May your lives be doubly blessed and deepened with the gift of friendship. I close with a little poem by Goethe. The world is so empty if one thinks only of mountains, rivers, and cities. But to know someone who thinks and feels with me, and who, though distant, is close to me in spirit, this makes the earth for me an inhabited garden.